Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back. Over the years, there has been an increasing interest into Fude, but not everyone really knows the history behind the manufacturers. In my past videos, I spoke about Hakuhodo and Tanseido. In this video, I would like to take you all back in time with the history of one of my all-time favorite Fude OEM, Takeda. I would like to start off this video by thanking Yasuhiro Takeda for sharing with me his family's history, invaluable information, and the priceless photographs. I have reshared the history of the Takeda family as Yasuhiro-san has shared with me. I would also like to thank my very dear friend Myra King for all the photos she took whilst in Japan and for sharing it with me. This video would not have been complete without both of their help. An endless thank you to Yasuhiro-san and Myra. The making of this video took many months of hard work and research. A lot of efforts and coordination was required in the creation prior to perfecting this video. So I would like to ask all of you, please do not pass off any information obtained in this channel as your own. I hope that you will enjoy this video, and if you have learned something, please do like this video and consider subscribing in case you have not yet. The history of Takeda started off with Itsuo Takeda. He was the grandfather of the current CEO and representative of Takeda, Yasuhiro Takeda, who took over the company in 2017. Itsuo Takeda was, in inverted commas, a primitive craftsman, as his grandson shared with me, who was able to make several creations such as house building. The Japanese traditional houses were, in the past, made for long-term usage and were targeted for 100 or plus so years. After the Second World War, Itsuo Takeda moved to Kumano from Onomichi in Hiroshima, Japan. As a matter of fact, Itsuo Takeda was an outsider when he first arrived in Kumano. In this picture, we can see here the Takeda family came to Kumano to start their new adventure. The most senior man was Itsuo Takeda, and the small boy, the baby, is in fact Shiro Takeda, the previous president of Takeda, who is now in retirement. So in 1947, he attempted to start a business as the first cosmetic brush product maker. At that time, there were no other craftsmen who were making cosmetic brushes in Kumano. But there were many craftsmen who were highly skilled in making Japanese brushes in Kumano. The picture here, we can see that the brushes made by Takeda approximately around 1947 to 1955. The bristles made from this brush were 100% red horsehair. Around 1955, Itsuo Takeda was the first person in Kumano to start exporting cosmetic brushes overseas, mainly to the United States, United Kingdom, and France. In 1970 and 1971 consecutively, the company was given the award of Export Contribution Company by the Ministry of International Trade and Industry. The two golden plates that we can see here on screen were achieved in 1970 and 1971. This picture features the old Takeda factory at around 1967. During the management of Itsuo Takeda, various Japanese traditional craftsmen who were running a home industry back then were under exclusive contract with the Takeda company. They made brushes by mainly using their traditional skills for Japanese brushes. Itsuo Takeda would just manage and help them on designing and planning, as well as making fixture and tools for brush making. Itsuo Takeda was well known to have made a great number of richly designed handles and cases by using the traditional Japanese method. During the 1960s, the founder of Takeda started business with Mitsuyoshi. As of date, Takeda no longer makes any weasel or Kolinsky brushes for Mitsuyoshi. Featuring here are some of my Mitsuyoshi brushes made by a very old craftsman who works for Takeda. These Nagomi brushes were initially intended for Japanese kabuki actors and maiko. We have here some other Mitsuyoshi brushes. The portable lip brush and the number 8 brushes were made by Shiro Takeda. The 10R was made by Mr. Kajimaya, and the number 14 brush was made by one of Takeda's oldest craftsmen. In mid-1970s, Takeda collaborated with Shuimura. Yes, Shuimura, which was back then under the company name Japan Make. The collaboration, however, was short-lived and lasted for roughly not more than 5 years. Later in 1980, Shiro Takeda took over the company after the passing away of his father and founder of Takeda. He was back then pursuing his doctorate in geology and was running a company in geological survey. But he took part in the running of his father's brush-making company at the same time. Hence, Shiro Takeda had studied the basic skills and work of his father. The company continued to introduce a number of products with its unique designs that were patented. To name a few, the slide brush developed in 1980 and the slim lip brush developed in 1982. Presently, there is only one craftsman who is able to adapt Shiro Takeda's new skill, that is making small weasel and Kolinsky brushes. Throughout the history of the Takeda company, the Kajiyama family had assisted with their skills and workmanship of weasel and Kolinsky brushes. Mrs. Kajiyama was a very famous craftsman who made lip brushes. She appeared and was often interviewed on popular programs on the Japanese television channel. Mrs. Kajiyama has stopped making brushes for about 15 years ago, but she was still assisting occasionally. She's the figure behind who holds the Takeda family's secret work. Mr. Kajiyama had made the number 10 brush and took retirement as from 2015. Well, partial retirement, let's say, as he does resume work from time to time and was seen in 2019 whereby he made a number 10 brush. His last recent work was in fact in 2021. In 2003, Takeda opened the first permanent shop in the department store on the ground floor of the Shinjuku Takashimaya department stores. We shall next be seeing some of the pictures that my dear friend Myra had shared with me whilst she was in Japan. Please enjoy. We have now come to the end of this Takeda history video. I hope that you have had a great time learning about the history of Takeda, and I shall catch you with my very next video. Thank you for watching.